Hi there, hope you're all doing well. This week I pulled a Knight of the Realm mini from my to-do pile. This is a mini that I got back when I backed the Reaper Bones 4 Kickstarter set, so it's been in my pile of unpainted minis for a while. But that also means that this mini is not really up to scratch when it comes to definition on the details. So instead of trying to make any details stand out, I'm going to try some non-metallic metal. So to get started, I used Hull Red as the base color for the gold armor. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. You could also join Discord using the link in the description, where you can share anything you have been working on. To get started adding the light parts of the armor, I went over them with British Khaki. This has been heavily thinned down just to make it a bit easier to get that gradient, and being this thin also means when I add that second color I can make it slightly smaller and it will just add to that gradient even more. Now to add the part inside the khaki, I went with golden brown. This is a bit of a jump in vibrancy, but I don't have a color that really fit in between them. You can of course mix these colors together as another layer. That would probably help, but I always try to make things as fast as possible because I'm just impatient. Getting the brightest part of the gold done now, I used sand yellow and just added a small line inside the golden brown parts. I also went over some of the edges just to make them stand out. Now that the gold has finished, I get all of the tabard done with a base coat of Amethyst Rayne. Starting to bring up the mid-tone on the purple now, I went over all of the raised and flat areas with Sorcerer's Cloak. Bringing up the tops of the folds now, I added a highlight using Runic purple. This is more of a scratchy highlight than a solid colour. Moving on to the padding under the armour now, I went over all of these parts with Paladin flesh, which is pretty close to whole red, even though they don't look the same in the bottle. I want to push the padding and the leather away from that red colour, so I went over them and added a mid-tone with Wasteland brown. Finishing off the padding and leather parts, I added a highlight using Sandstone. For the axe handle and the scabbard, I gave them a once over using Dust Bowl. To get started on the silver non-metallic parts now, I used lead grey and gave everything a once over that I want to look silver. I do forget at this point though to do the stones on the base and come back in later with this colour just to touch them up. Getting the first step up in brightness on the silver, I used English grey, thinned down enough that a couple of coats add to the gradient, just like the gold did. Added in a smaller shine now inside the English grey, I used pale grey. I could have thinned this down a little bit more to help with the blend, but it still turns out okay in the end. Finishing off the silver now, I added an edge highlight and a small center highlight with Offwhite. For the base, I just went with a once over of burnt umber. Now onto the washes, all of the purple parts gets washed with Magi purple wash. Finishing up, I wash all of the padding, leather and the base with Battle Mud wash. You can leave the padding as it was, but I wanted to use this just to push that a bit more away from that red. And that will be it for the Knight of the Realm. It didn't turn out too bad, not perfect by any means, but at tabletop distance the armor looks gold and the silver looks nice and bright. And for a mini that only took 40 minutes to paint, I'll take looks good on the tabletop as a win. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in on comments below. You could also join Discord using the link in the description where you can share anything you have been working on. As always, if you want a closer look at this mini, check out my Instagram page. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you enjoyed. Most importantly though, be kind to each other.